What's up, guys? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, and the overall market. I'll talk about some big news involving Tesla and many other stocks out there, not to mention what's going on with the news so far for all these different companies. Just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I'm saying as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $2,000, you're guaranteed 30 in total, and the offer ends at the end of March. Anyways, as far as Tesla's going, we've been on this very, very nice uptrend, but as soon as we hit this trend line right here, the yellow trend line, which was our previous support becoming resistance, that's acting as resistance now. So we'll have to see if we could break this, especially after the PPI data was quite good. Can we break past this 250 area to start pushing for 262, or do we get a rejection here and kind of fail? We're kind of flat right here. We'll have to see how well Tesla holds up, and we'll talk more about this in just a minute. Just know that today we got the PPI data. PPI month over month was at 0%. That is below the expectations, which is not too bad. Core PPI was at negative 0.1%. That's technically below expectations. Initial jobless claims was also a little bit below expectations. And then core PPI year over year was at 3.4% below expectations. And then PPI year over year was at 3.2% for all items below expectations. So we got a good PPI report. All the data was below expectations, and the year over year basis is starting to go down just a bit. This is exactly what the Fed would want. This is exactly what the market would like, at least logically speaking. However, just keep in mind that there's other factors affecting the way the market's going to be moving. As far as Tesla's going, it's jumped about $56 billion in market capitalization ever since Donald Trump has given his endorsement. So that's been one of the big factors, especially after Elon Musk started to go on about the unsupervised FSD that's going to be launched soon. So that was a very, very big catalyst. Then we had this news right over here about how JP Morgan is saying that, despite how much Tesla is dipping, despite losing 48% of its overall market capitalization, they believe that this is still one of the best automotive companies on the planet, and they saw this as a very, very good opportunity. That is some good news. Morgan Stanley said the same thing as well. They saw this as a dip buying opportunity. So keep that in mind. A lot of analysts are still very bullish on Tesla and see this as an opportunity. That's despite the fact that Australian sales are down 71% in February compared to the same month last year. Yes, we're seeing a lot of countries with sales declining for Tesla, of course, but for the shorter term, there was a lot more optimism after what Elon Musk said about the US production to be doubling, and also because of Donald Trump's endorsement. Now, President Trump also, this morning, he has threatened 200% tariffs on wine, champagne, and other alcoholic drinks imported from the EU. He noted that the threats would remain until the EU removed its duty on the US made whiskey. So, once again, these threats are continuing. However, just keep in mind that this isn't a guarantee. This involves like negotiation and such. On top of this, when it comes to U.S. recession, Donald Trump also said that he doesn't think it's going to be seeing a recession now. He downplayed the initial prospect of a recession, and he thinks that it's not going to be easy, uh, you know, to get through all of this. But he did mention that at least as time goes on, he doesn't see a recession, at least for the shorter term. He doesn't think it's going to happen this year. That's despite the fact that different analysts are saying that there's about a 40% chance we're going to see a recession. So, once again, different views so far. Donald Trump did change his view on that compared to before, so I wanted to just clarify that. When it comes to the ceasefire deal, so far Russia is rejecting the U.S. brokered ceasefire agreement between Russia and Ukraine so far. So we'll see if they change the agreement and they continue to negotiate, but so far that has not been successful. And then there's a lot of drama right now involving, a potential government shutdown because we have to see the Senate approve the funding bill. Many of the Democrats do not want to basically pass the one that was initially passed. At least that's what they claim. We'll see if they end up passing it or not. The deadline is going to be the end of the day on Friday. They should pass it eventually. And I'm not trying to be political when I make those claims like that. This is just what the headlines are saying because Republicans do the same thing as well when there's like another bill passed by a majority Democrat vote. So it's just politics, right? Both sides can either pass them or they can even have their arguments. I'm trying to be unbiased when I say that. I'm not trying to be biased, if anything. Anyways, I'm just trying to say that that's what we're seeing at least so far. The reason for this is because politics gets in the way. They're going to argue until the last minute. So hopefully they still pass the bill anyways, at least at the last minute. We'll see about that. We also have this news right over here about how we have a lot of tech stocks which have been trying to push a little bit. I'm not seeing anything else that's new though. There's still retaliatory tariffs coming out from Canada and the EU, but that's pretty much it. So as far as the share prices go, we're going to see if Tesla could try to break this 250 area. It's still resilient here, especially since we got a good PPI and decent jobs numbers. If we break that, we're looking for an attempt to fill this gap up here around the 262 area. If we reject here, then we could be dipping back down below 242. If that fails us, we're going to be at risk of returning to 235. So it could go either way here. I'm going to be looking for an attempt to try to break this trend line very close to about that 250 area. So I think we're going to test that and we'll see if we break it or not. So give that some time. And if we do break this, we're looking for an attempt for 262. I think overall the trend is more bullish, but we need to see how we end up reacting to 250. Let's see if we break that or not. If we can't hold above 242, we turn back down. But for now, I do see potential in this. In terms of SPY, we dipped a bit. Now we're trying to hold. So one thing that's good about the chart is the fact that we're trying to base. SPY is trying to form a base around the 555 area. We've been holding so far quite well. We need to break past 565 to continue to pump. We're forming a base here, which could be pushing us higher, but if we break 565, we are going to remain even more bullish. If we end up rejecting and we end up failing, we could turn back below 553, which wouldn't be a good sign. This is looking a bit more bullish to me, so 560 plus could be coming to eventually 565. So we'll see if we could form a base here and try to rebound higher. Um, let's just see if 555 holds at the very least. If it doesn't, we turn back down. If it does, we want to see us break 560 and 565 to remain bullish. This is looking like it's trying to push right now, so it has some potential. The QQQ is also looking decent. We're trying to hold. We're only down 0.15%. I want to see it break 480. If that breaks, we're looking for 485. And if we lose 470, it's going to be a bad sign. So let's see if we could hold up. We're trying to base here. We'll see if it holds. The Russell's also trying to form a base here. I want to see it break 202.8. If that breaks, we're looking for this trend line to be tested again. As long as 200 does not break, we're going to be okay. ES is in the middle, going back and forth between these levels. I want to see it break 56.28. If that breaks, we're looking for an attempt for 56.75. And if we end up losing 55.50, we could turn back down. So we're going to likely continue to consolidate here. We'll see if ES can break 56.28 though. NQ is consolidating. It's trying to make higher lows, which is a good sign, but we need to break 19,680 to push for 19,800. And then if that breaks, the 20,000 area is coming. So those are two resistances. We'll see if we could break past 19,641 or not, but there is potential nonetheless. For Bitcoin, we have kind of like an inverse head and shoulders like structure. I want to see us break 84,000 to pump even more. If not, we could be rejecting. So look for a test of 84K. Nvidia is looking decent, forming a nice accumulation. I want to see this essentially break past 117. If that breaks, we're looking for a pump back up towards 120. If we lose 113, we turn back down. This is still looking a bit more bullish. Just like Tesla's attempting to push even higher. Apple's trying to base. We have to see if it could hold one, very important support near this 214 area. It's still kind of weak right now, especially after their shipments are expected to decline a little bit. So with the price downgrade from Morgan Stanley, we could be dipping closer to like 214 to 215. So it's still looking kind of weak. And we'll see if we could base there, but I do expect a little bit more downside. Coin needs to break past 196 to push even higher for like 205. So watch and see how it reacts to that. Amazon has like an inverse head and shoulders. If we break past resistance around 200, we're looking for an attempt to push higher for 204. If we end up, losing 194, we could dip back down. So we're watching to see if we try to bounce. Meta has an inverse head and shoulders. So if we break past 630, we're looking for 638. If we end up losing 615, we could turn back down. So we'll see if we get some kind of bounce move here. Microsoft has 385 as resistance. If we break this, we're looking for 388, which looks a bit more bullish. If we break 169 on Google, we're looking for a push as well. So far, so good. The VIX still has this gap to fill. We have other gaps below, so that's a good sign for the markets. The market is trying to base, so this could be a bounce attempt coming, so please keep that in mind. Anyways, I thank you all so much for listening. I'll be back with another upload very soon. And as far as Tesla's going, we are trying to push so far, so it is showing some life. Can we break 250 though as resistance? We'll see. It's going to be a big, tough test, so we'll give it some time. Anyways, thank you for listening. Have a good one, and peace out.